The story begins on a Friday. Not a peaceful Friday, not a hopeful day, a gloomy day. The only sun they saw was lifted on the cross, while heaven looked gray and the whole world felt lost. Jesus of Nazareth, teacher, healer, hope revealer, the one who welcomed the broken, was suddenly broken, lifted high on the cross while the crowd watched and the sky grew quiet.
The people who followed believed they had witnessed God in the flesh. They saw blind eyes open. They saw the sick refreshed. They heard words of mercy and grace spoken, gentle and strong. But when Friday evening arrived, everything felt terribly wrong. The cross stood silent on the hill. The wind carried the weight of the day. Because when someone dies like that, hope begins to slip away.
Then his body was taken down, wrapped in linen tight, carried through the quiet streets on a quiet night, placed in a tomb carved deep in stone, cold and hollow inside, and a heavy rock rolled into place like hope itself had died.
It felt like the kind of ending people know too well. Another hopeful story that death came to tell. And if the story ended there, history might recall. He was a teacher with beautiful words, but not the Lord at all.
But the story didn't end there, because early Sunday morning, before the town was awake, Mary walked toward the place where his body was laid. The sky was dim and gray. The streets were still asleep. But when she reached the tomb, she stopped in disbelief.
The stone was rolled away. The tomb stood open wide, and the place where Jesus once lay was empty inside. Yes, empty. Not disturbed, not even stolen away. And that empty tomb would change the world one day.
Because the message started spreading fast. A crucifixion no man had ever survived. Yet the story on everyone's tongue was simple. Jesus is alive. The cross couldn't keep him. The grave could not contain him. Death reached out to take his power, but even death could not restrain him.
What looked like the end was the turn of a page. What looked like defeat was the rise of the age. The cross became the doorway for the old and for the youth, that life's stronger than death, and God was telling the truth.
And that means something, because if Jesus rose again, then we still have hope. God always wins.
Because the story didn't end in the grave.
And death couldn't silence the one who saved.
The stone rolled back,
Not to help him escape.
But to show the whole world.
Jesus was awake.
What looked like defeat
Was the turn of pages.
Because no stone could stop.
The Rock of Ages.
the cross was the price.
The grave was the proof.
That death lost its power.
When he walked from the tomb,
The night thought it won.
The darkness believed.
But morning arrived.
The stone had to leave.
The grave could not hold him.
Even death was surprised.
The stone could not keep him.
Jesus is alive.
And if the grave is empty, then our praise should never be.
Let everything that has breath praise the Lord.
Let everything that has breath praise the Lord.
Let everything that has breath